we want to speak the language of the industry and help them understand, this is the power of AI to transform this workflow, and you can reap all of those benefits. It is an investment, and you have to have a vision for it because it's doing things a little differently. Usually, a lot of this is kind of tacked on as an afterthought. Let's make sure that we don't hit anything. Let's, or we've hit something. Let's call out someone to mark everything else.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Caroline Ang Wright, Head of Marketing at Exodigo. Caroline, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us about yourself and about Exodigo.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Caroline Ang Wright, Head of Marketing at Exodigo, and I live in San Francisco. I love reading British mystery novels, gardening, and exploring new places with my family. So, it's always nice to humanize a bit before I talk about, what I do. But originally, I wanted to become a writer. So I studied English Lit at university, and I did a journalism fellowship after I graduated. And then after that fellowship ended, I decided to follow some new interests and earned a master's degree in health policy and economics. So that opened doors into management consulting, which was basically like business boot camp. And I worked on everything from pharmaceuticals in Europe to chocolate in the UK, which was an incredibly fun project, and soft drinks in South Africa. And so, since then, I've come back to the Bay Area. I've worked in a number of early stage startups, and also at much larger companies like Lonely Planet, Electronic Arts, and Square. And, just to wrap that up, I love marketing. And for me, it really represents the perfect combination of strategy, creativity, and storytelling. But I've also held roles in analytics and product. So I think, just having that other functional experience really brings a depth and a breadth, when I approach marketing topics. And I've touched almost every area of marketing in some capacity, but my background is in product marketing.
Excellent. Well, I always feel like other perspectives are invaluable when you do a job. If everybody takes the same path and the same process, then there's sort of a staleness to it. So you bring, a literature background and a creative mind to it. So I love that. Now tell us a little bit about Exodigo and what they do.
Yeah, so, Exodigo sits at the intersection of many industries, so it can be a bit hard to pin down, kind of what exactly is our industry and our niche. But really, I describe us as a construction AI company that's focused on solving underground challenges for our customers, primarily in transportation, energy and utilities, and construction.
And how do you go about that? What sort of solutions are you providing?
Yeah, well, I think the best way to describe it is, if you own infrastructure or manage large capital projects, then you need to know what utilities, hazards, and soil conditions are like under the surface. And so our technology helps our customers see underground so they can design, dig, build safely and efficiently. And so we use multiple sensors to scan the ground non-intrusively, and we process the results with AI to create the most accurate subsurface utility maps in the industry. And our maps help our customers to expedite project delivery so they can save time and money. It also improves safety in the field so no one's hitting a gas line, and it also lowers the carbon footprint of their construction operations.
Amazing. And what's the origin story of Exodigo? How long have they been in business?
Yeah, so as a company, we're almost 3 years old, and it's been a pretty crazy ride. Our co-founders met in the Israeli intelligence services, where they focused on signal processing and sensor technologies. And after nearly a decade in the military, they decided to form a company that applied their expertise to civilian use cases. So they settled on the underground because it's an incredibly hard problem to solve, and it impacts multiple industries that form the backbone of our modern economy.
Amazing. And what verticals are you servicing at Exodigo? Who are your customers?
Yeah, so right now, we are working with leaders in transportation, energy, utilities, and construction. So, some examples are transportation agencies like LA Metro and SEPTA, and departments of transportation like Caltrans and Texas DOT. And these are folks who are building new facilities and constructing roads and highways. And we also work with energy and utilities providers like PG&E, National Grid and Southwest Gas, who are doing strategic undergrounding, installing new lines, and repairing and replacing aging infrastructure. And we also collaborate with engineering consulting and construction firms that are actually managing and executing these projects in the field. And it's really interesting because it is it's a big investment, and it's a really important part of a project life cycle. So, when we're talking to customers, we're talking across the organization, executives, project managers, project engineers, innovation leaders, kind of everyone who's involved in making sure that a project goes successfully.
Amazing. And other than the most obvious of not hitting a gas line and things like that, what are the most common problems you're solving for your clients?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. When you think about these infrastructure and large capital projects, underground utilities are usually the third largest cause of project delays and budget overruns for most of them. And we typically hear that the first issue is politics and the second is bureaucracy, and we really can't help with that. But in terms of underground utilities, we really help our customers to solve these challenges before they start. So if you know where the assets are, you know where the hazards are early in the project, you can actually plan around them proactively. So if you think about, by the time people are in the field, all of the construction equipment is there, you're paying the crews. Even if you don't hit a line, and we all know that hitting a line can cause huge damages, injuries. It's really a terrible situation. But even if you don't hit a line, you just discover an unexpected one, you have to stop everything and relocate that line, find the owner of that line, figure out all of those logistics. And, the project schedule and budget are just ticking along while progress is stopped. So that is something that we care deeply about. And then also, a lot of the customers that we have are relying on existing records, which are sometimes still in PDF or paper in a folder in a drawer somewhere. And we're providing them a full digital asset. We map in 2D and in 3D. And these maps really integrate with all of their systems of records. So you can imagine the power of having all of that information, right there on the screen, and you're able to work with that information in the program of your choice, whether it's, Civil 3D or, ArcGIS, whatever you're using to design and plan and build your engineering projects.
You quickly become the architect's new best friend when you provide those sorts of schematics. Do you have competitors in this space, or are there other companies doing what you do?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say that we compete mostly against the status quo because traditional locators, they use one or two sensors and they follow the line. So they're looking at existing records and they're going out into the field to verify that those lines exist. And the way they do that is they have handheld sensors. They're typically highly trained, 20 years of experience in the field, and they're using visual hints. So they're looking for manholes or hydrants. And based on all those clues, they say, okay, the records say a gas line is here, and we believe this is a gas line. It's kind of confirmed. We take a totally different approach. And so we come with a blank slate and we scan the entire area to detect what is there, whether the lines are marked on existing records or have above ground indications or not. So our technology really marries the strengths of multiple sensors, and it compensates for the weaknesses that each sensor has. So, together we collect, around 500 gigabytes of data per acre, which is a lot of data, much more than a human can analyze. And so we combine that scan data with high resolution imagery and with records where they exist. And then we process all of that with AI. And our AI has trained on dozens of sites across the world, and it detects most of these lines with very high accuracy. And we also have a team of geophysicists who review all the edge cases so that the AI is continuously learning how to tackle more complex and ambiguous signal analysis. So really, in a nutshell, we use technology to create the most accurate underground maps in the industry. And it's like combining an MRI, a scan, and an ultrasound into a single image. If you can imagine, you don't need three doctors, three different things. We're combining all of that at once into a single source of truth for the underground.
I think the status quo is a little bit too much of a guessing game for my taste. If I were building a project, I can't imagine. All right, let's switch gears to put on your marketing hat for a minute. What role has content played in the growth of Exodigo?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think content is the heart of our marketing strategy. It's marketing's job to showcase Exotigo's value to our target audience. And we do that through thoughtful, relevant content that's delivered across multiple channels. So we meet our customers where they are. And, in our case, that's conferences and events through email, LinkedIn, online, through press and media, and at smaller meetings and industry forums. And we communicate our value through stories, through stats, visuals, demonstrations, and anything else we can think of, really. But we want to speak the language of the industry and help them understand, this is the power of AI to transform this workflow, and you can reap all of those benefits. It's it is an investment, and you have to have a vision for it because it's doing things a little differently. Usually, a lot of this is kind of tacked on as an afterthought. Let's make sure that we don't hit anything. Let's, or we've hit something, let's call out someone to mark everything else. But we're saying invest in this up front because it really will pay dividends across the project life cycle, downstream benefits of moving faster, being on budget, being able to budget with certainty, kind of having that timeline. It's it's an exciting time for folks who are working in the built world. And, we're excited to partner with all of those folks.
Budget with certainty is a term that no one has ever used before in the construction business.
Yeah, there are lots of different factors, and we can help people control the underground ones.
Yeah. All right. Look down the road a year from today. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally?
Oh, goodness. It's incredible how much things can change in a year. We just celebrated our 105 million Series A funding in February. So it was a pretty huge round. And we're really excited about that. We're using it to accelerate growth and invest in R&D. And, since I joined the company in September of 2022, we've doubled the size of the team. We've entered 3 new markets and are regularly adding incredible new customers, many of whom are household names that serve thousands of constituents in their communities. So it's a really exciting time. We're hiring across a number of different departments. So, we're always looking for great people to join the company. I think, looking ahead in a year, goodness, I'd love to be celebrating the launch of our geotechnical product, which will help customers understand soil conditions, bedrock, and voids. And we're also frequently asked to solve new use cases in oil and gas and mineral exploration, and even things like the detection of ancient burial grounds and archaeological excavation. There are all of these interesting use cases, and we're always looking to extend the application of our technology to help our customers solve their underground challenges, whatever they may be, whether now and in the future. So while I can't promise anything, there's just so much potential when you know what's underground. It makes a big difference. And then, kind of personally from a year, I mean, it's been amazing getting to build marketing from the ground up, to be the first marketing hire and to build a team, build our programs. It's really satisfying and exciting. And also, kind of just as the parent of two littles, I'm really looking forward in a year when they're a little bit more self-sufficient. Well, actually, an 18-month-old is probably not going to be self-sufficient, so it's going to be a while. But each phase of parenting is amazing because you get to see them discover the world a little bit more, and I am continually surprised at how quickly they change. A year is a lifetime for a little kid.
Absolutely. Don't blink. It goes quick, and the earth starts spinning faster and faster. It is. It's not hyperbole. Well, that's excellent. I appreciate all that. Thank you for sharing. Please tell us, what's Exodigo's URL? Where can we find you? And what social media outlets are you using as well?
Yeah, we are at www.exodigo.com. One of the benefits of having a super unusual name is you can type it into Google and Exodigo will pop up and it will be us. So no mistaken identity there. And we're active on LinkedIn. So we have a company account, and honestly, that's where our customers are. So that's the main social media platform that we use.
Excellent. Caroline Ang Wright of Exodigo, thank you for spending some time with us today on Business Ninjas. All the best to you and yours, your little ones, and continued success at Exodigo.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Be well.